Hey, this is DocHoliday, and wanted to walk through a little bit more of PvP in Rift. So this is the Black Garden, and I'm on my Cleric, and I'm only level 16, but actually I didn't do too bad in this run. So I'm spec'd out primarily in the Justicar line, with a little bit in Shaman, and then my third one that I don't have any points in it is Sentinel, just for that extra additional heal. But really enjoyed it. Actually, found it to be a pretty solid build, actually pretty survivable, and also able to do some decent damage. Really the only complaint I had was not being able to get into range quicker. Get into melee range quicker. But outside of that, I was able to do some pretty decent damage with all the return heals coming back to me. Was able to keep myself alive even though I was in melee range, and I felt pretty comfortable in the amount of healing I was able to give out to the rest of the group. I was able to use my doctrines, not only my self-doctrine, but also the group-wide doctrine, and really try to help heal people as I fought. And basically my idea was just to spam that group doctrine as much as I possibly could. And here it is, I was able to sneak up and find another mage who was just kind of sitting out all by himself. So I was able to go through. I don't have any interrupts, which is another kind of issue that I had. But certainly able to go through and burn that down with the help of another mage. But overall, found the class pretty enjoyable. And this case got through a number of different kills, both ranged as well as on the melee side. And this is a case here where I'm trying to catch this guy, and I can't. And that was kind of the frustration of a lot of what I found out was being able to close range was just hard. It was a lot easier to be more of a protector and to be able to, if someone was trying to beat down on a caster class or a range class and they were trying to sneak up on them, it was easier for me to try and protect that person than it was to try and track someone down. And it's just I don't have the skills to be able to do that. And maybe that's just how I spec'd it, so I'll probably look at that as we go live here. But that was kind of my only frustration. Outside of that, I got some decent ranged attacks, and you'll see I just got the achievement there for killing the guy who was carrying the fangs. So that was kind of fun. Get the killing blow on that. But really ended up kind of trying to focus on both things, trying to do as much damage as possible, but also trying to get off as many heals as possible. And that's kind of the challenging part, is balancing that and not running out of power instantly. And this character wasn't as bad as some of the other ones that I've run with power usage, but it certainly is a concern for longer fights, especially in the PvP sense, where you can go in cases where you're always in combat, and it makes it really hard to be able to maintain that level of usage as you go through when you're constantly trying to maintain and do things. But overall, I ended up I think doing pretty decent in this run. Thought this was kind of a cool little effect here, this little stalking rogue as they were trying to sneak up on that person, was able to see them. I don't know if everyone can see him or how that necessarily works, but it looked kind of cool, and then trying to run away, but we were able to range him down and get the kill there as they're trying to run away. It certainly is something that I found that's not very successful in Rift in general, is running away never really seems to work very well. But going through here, this event, we did reasonably well. Right now we're pretty close. We're actually losing a little bit here. Again, I'm on the Guardian side. I finally figured out the scoring systems, so we're the blue guys. But doing reasonably well. Keep this pretty close. But here it is. I'm off. I'm trying to chase down another warrior to try and go and protect our holding of the Fang, as well as trying to get off a couple of heals to go ahead and try and heal up the person who is carrying the Fang. And in this case, I'm just going to kind of sit back a little bit and heal, try and also regen a little bit of power. Certainly I'm ripping through it pretty well. And this extended hold of the Fang is what's kind of allowed us to go ahead and catch up here and get actually ahead in the game. Although this is another big wave of attackers that are coming after us. We kind of camped out here in this little back corner, and certainly they found it, and they've now launched a pretty significant attack here to try and reclaim it. And they actually did reclaim it for a second there, but we were able to get that. We now have it back again. The only downside to being here is you get this whole ring around the tree fun game where you basically have to continue to chase people around, and if you don't have a root or a stun or a ranged closure skill, it can be really annoying. So that's the kind of the downside. It's both a good thing and a bad thing, but I found it quite frustrating at times to be chasing people around that stupid tree. But going through here, this is another wave of attack that they're on. Basically, they continue to bring up their melee classes. And we had our defenses pretty well. It wasn't necessarily so much of a choke point, but we had things defended pretty well that we could sit back and kind of wait for them to come after us and repel it and heal the Fang carrier enough such that that person didn't go down and keep the attackers away from us. And as you can see now, we're pretty comfortably in the lead. It's just a matter of we've been keeping the Fang that long that we've been able to build up enough of a lead here. And for the most part, up till now, we've kind of been pretty much skirmishing back and forth, trying to control the Fang and trying to go back and forth. But at times it has degenerated into a massive free-for-all. But it was a pretty fun, balanced event. One of the things that I haven't figured out, I noticed that there's all sorts of bodies all over the place that have loot on them, and most of the time it's just money. But I know every once in a while there are drops, there are items that drop out of there, and it just kind of pains me to know that there's no other way to get that loot. And you don't want to stop because it's actually an induction to go ahead and loot, so you don't want to stop and go and mid-fight go and pick stuff up. So that's a little frustrating. I hate seeing dead bodies around without being able to loot them. So that's a little pet peeve of mine that I have, and I don't know of an easier way around that. But in this case, we're kind of getting to the point where we're about ready to win, so our Fang carrier has basically said, well, we're just going to go off and go kill as many things as we can, since we pretty much, unless we screw up royally, they're going to win this match. But this is my second fight with my Justicar, so hopefully once we get through live, which is only a couple days away, I'll have some more videos up for you guys with a couple other classes.